The alien queen girl read my mind by accident and spoke my real name. No one ever tells you what silence sounds like inside a perfect white hall. It is not the calm silence of a library. It is the kind of silence that feels engineered, like the air itself was trained to hold its breath. I stood on a polished floor that reflected my feet so clearly, it looked like I was standing on a sheet of frozen water. Above me, the ceiling curved into pale arches, soft light spilling down as if the building had no sun outside, only its own idea of morning, and in front of me, she waited. She was not a hologram, not a dream, not a costume. She was real in the way a storm is real. Quiet, enormous, unavoidable. Her skin was almost white, not sickly, but luminous, like a pearl held under bright daylight. Her eyes were light blue and too expressive for anything I had ever seen. That was not human. Her hair fell like silver. Threads over her shoulders, long and straight, with small braids that looked like someone had woven patience into them. She wore a gown with dark gray and teal layers, trimmed with gold that caught the light and turned it warm. And on her head sat a delicate circlet of gold, sweeping upward like a crown designed by a mathematician who had also studied prayer. She lifted her right hand, slow and careful, between us. A cluster of glowing blue symbols formed in the air, circles inside circles. Shapes that suggested language but refused to become readable. They hovered like a living equation, spinning gently as if listening. I had been trying to stay brave since I woke up in this place, but bravery is hard when your heart keeps asking the same question, how did I get here? The last thing I remembered was the jungle, the wet heat, the buzzing of insects, my boots sinking into mud. Then the flash of light through the trees. Then nothing. Now I was here, standing in a hall of white stone in soft light, facing a queen who looked like she had stepped out of a myth and into my worst possible day. She studied me the way a doctor studies a patient and the way a priest studies a confession. Not cold, not kind, focused. My throat was dry. I swallowed and tried to speak like a normal person, like this was just a strange meeting and not the end of my life. Why am I here? My voice came out rough. It echoed softly, as if the room had been waiting to repeat anything I dared to say. The queen girl did not answer immediately. Her eyes shifted to the symbols floating between us. Then back to my face. She inhaled, slow, and the blue symbols tightened into a smaller orbit, like they were drawing closer to her hand. Then she spoke in a voice that did not match the silence. It was gentle, clear, and somehow heavy, like every word had weight in history. You are awake, she said. I frowned. That was not an answer. I took a step forward before I could stop myself. If you can understand me, then tell me where I am. Tell me what you did to me. Her expression did not change, but her gaze sharpened. The symbols flickered. You are safe, she said. Safe. That word sounded like a lie in a place I did not recognize. I glanced around, searching for guards, doors, anything that looked like an exit. The architecture was smooth and minimal. No seams, no visible hinges, even the light fixtures. Small glowing spheres sitting in shallow bowls. Looked more like art than technology. I looked back at her. Who are you? She hesitated, just a breath. Then she said, I am called Saralith. The name sounded like wind passing through glass. Saralith. I repeated it quietly, testing it. Saralith. She nodded once, and for the first time, I saw something human in her, not in her face, but in the way she held herself. As if she carried responsibility the way a person carries grief. Carefully, with both hands, Saralith's fingers moved, and the blue symbols expanded again, forming rings that drifted closer to my chest. Instinct snapped through me. I flinched, stepping back, raising my hands. Hey, do not do that. The symbols paused in midair. Saralith's eyes widened slightly. An apology crossed her face like a shadow. I will not harm you, she said. I must only confirm what I demanded. Her gaze dropped to my hands, then to my eyes. Confirm that you are the one I sensed. She said, the one you sensed. I felt a chill crawl up my arms. You have been watching me. She looked away, like the truth was brighter than the hall could handle. Not watching, she said. Listening. Listening to what? Saralith lifted her hand again. Slow and open, palm angled toward me. The symbols shifted into a tighter cluster. Now spinning faster, a faint hum filled the air, not loud, but present, like a distant power line. Your thoughts, she said. I froze. My thoughts. I stared at her, feeling suddenly exposed in a way no weapon could achieve. You cannot do that, I said, my voice rising. You do not get to do that. Her eyes snapped back to mine, and something inside them moved, not fear, not arrogance, regret. I did not mean to, she said. It happened. That made no sense. You do not accidentally read someone's mind. Saralith's lips parted as if she wanted to argue. Then she stopped. She looked at her own hand, as if it had betrayed her. Then she spoke again, quieter. I reached toward the symbols to translate your surface language, she said. But your mind was loud. My heart thumped hard, because she was not wrong. Inside my skull, panic had been screaming for hours. Questions, memories, anger, fear, all of it colliding like waves. Saralith's gaze returned to me. I heard a name, she said. I blinked. A name, your name, she said. I exhaled sharply. My name is Ethan, I said. Ethan Cole. The hall held its breath again. Even the blue symbol seemed to slow. Saralith did not repeat Ethan. Instead, her eyes softened with a strange, almost startled tenderness, like she was looking at something fragile she did not expect to find. Then she spoke, and the sound of it hit me like a hand on my chest. Kale, she said. Your real name is Kale. The world tilted. For a moment I could not hear the hum of the symbols, could not feel the air, could not even feel my own hands, because that name, Kale, did not belong in my life. And yet, the instant she said it, something inside me answered, not with words, with recognition, with the sharp sting of a memory trying to climb out of a locked room. I took a step back, stumbling. No, I whispered. No, that is not my name. Saralith's brow tightened. It is, she said. I heard it behind your defenses like a bell underwater. My pulse hammered. I felt heat rise up my neck, anger mixing with fear. Do not say things like that, I snapped. Do not mess with my head. Saralith flinched. The symbols flickered wildly, then steadied as she lowered her hand. I am sorry, she said. I did not know humans hide names. I stared at her, breathing hard. Humans do not hide names, I said. We do not have secret names. Saralith's eyes stayed on mine. But you do, she said. I shook my head. You are wrong. But my voice had lost power, because even as I denied it, my body remembered the sound of Kale in a way it had never remembered Ethan. Like Ethan was a jacket I wore, and Kale was skin. I turned away, trying to regain control. I stared at one of the arched openings, flooded with bright light. It did not show an outside world, only a glow, as if the building refused to admit there was anything beyond it. I closed my eyes and pressed my fingers to my temple. No dots of pain, no sharp headache, just a pressure, like something was waking up. When I opened my eyes, Saralith was still there, watching me, not moving, not approaching, giving me space the way you give space to an injured animal. Why did you bring me here? I asked, quieter now. If you are a queen, if you can read minds, why take a random man from a jungle? Saralith's gaze drifted upward, as if she was looking at something far above the ceiling. Because you were not random, she said. My jaw clenched. Then who was I? Her expression darkened. You are a fracture in a prophecy, she said. I let out a bitter laugh. Prophecy, great. She did not react to my sarcasm. She simply continued, for many cycles, my people have feared the return of a human mind that does not match its body, she said. A mind that carries an old imprint, hidden under new memory. I swallowed. That sounded like madness, or like something I did not want to hear, because part of me already believed it. Saralith stepped closer, just one step. The distance between us shrank. The air felt colder, not from temperature, but from anticipation. Your thoughts contain two lives, she said. One you remember and one you do not. I clenched my fists. Stop, I said. Stop talking like you know me. Saralith's eyes flashed, not with anger, but with urgency. I do know you, she said. Or I know the echo of you. The blue symbols stirred again, rotating slowly as if they were waiting for permission. Saralith lifted her hand, not toward my head this time, but toward her own chest, a gesture of sincerity. I am not your enemy, she said. But my court is full of enemies who would tear you apart to see what you are. Court, so there were others, not just her. I was in a palace or a fortress or something like it. I felt my stomach tighten. Where are they? I asked, Saralith's mouth tightened, behind walls that listen, she said, waiting for me to prove you are either a weapon or a myth. I stared at her, and suddenly the hall felt smaller, like a stage. Like I was standing in the center of a performance I did not agree to. I forced myself to breathe slowly. If you can read minds, then you already know I am not a weapon, I said. Saralith's gaze dropped. That is the problem, she said. You are not a weapon, but you could become one. If they break you, the words hit harder than she intended. Because I had been broken before, not by aliens, by life, by loss, by fear, by the quiet cruelty of being alone with too many memories. Kale, the name echoed again inside me. I took a careful step closer, lowering my voice. Tell me the truth, Saralith. Do you know who I really am? Her eyes lifted to mine, and in them I saw it. Not certainty, hope, and fear. I know what you were. She said, I do not know what you are now. My throat tightened. What I was, Saralith inhaled. Then she spoke the next words with reverence, as if speaking them wrong could summon disaster. Kale was the name of a human who walked into our oldest city, long before my throne existed. She said, he came with no army, no fleet, no crown, only a mind that burned like a star and a heart that refused to kneel. I stared at her. That is not me, I whispered. I have never even left my country. I have never seen space. I have never. My voice broke, because the more I denied it, the more the pressure behind my eyes grew. Saralith stepped closer again. Now we were only a few steps apart. Her presence was overwhelming, but not threatening, like standing near a waterfall. When I reached into your mind, she said, I felt a door. It was sealed. But the seal was human. I blinked. A door. Saralith nodded. A partition, she said. A wall built inside you, to hide what you knew, or to hide what you were. My hands trembled. This was insane. I was a researcher, a survey contractor, a man who got lost in a jungle because he trusted a GPS that failed. I was not a legend, not a prophecy, not a star burning in a palace. And yet, Kale kept ringing through me. I whispered. If my mind was sealed, who sealed it? Saralith's eyes narrowed. Not my people, she said. Our seals do not feel like that. This was done by a human hand. My stomach dropped. Someone from my own species. Saralith's voice softened. Your memories were not taken by accident. She said they were locked away, perhaps to protect you. Perhaps to protect others from you. I backed away, shaking my head. No, I turned, pacing a few steps, then spinning back. If you are telling the truth, then prove it. Show me. Saralith froze. For the first time, she looked uncertain, as if she had been waiting for that request and dreading it. If I open that door, she said, you may not like what comes out. I swallowed. I do not like anything right now, I said. So do it. Saralith lifted her hand slowly. The blue symbols brightened, gathering into a tight sphere between us. The hum deepened, not loud, but heavier, like the air had gained weight. She did not touch my forehead. She did not grab me. She simply held the sphere in the air and looked into my eyes. Listen to me, she said. If you feel pain, do not run from it. If you see darkness, do not bargain with it. Hold on to one true thing. My breath caught. One true thing. Saralith's voice dropped into something almost intimate. Hold on to the sound of your real name, she said. Kale. When she said it again, my body reacted like it had been struck. My vision blurred. The hall dissolved at the edges. The light became too bright, then too dim. The hum rose, then vanished, and suddenly I was somewhere else. Not the White Hall, not the palace, not even the jungle. I was in a narrow corridor of dark metal. Alarms screamed in a language I did not know, but somehow understood. Red lights pulsed. The air smelled like burning wiring and ozone. My hands were not empty. They were wearing gloves, heavy and reinforced. My body felt stronger, trained, ready. In front of me, a door stood sealed with glowing symbols. Symbols that looked like the blue circles Siralith had conjured, except these were hostile, warning, locked. And on the other side of the door, something pounded, a deep, monstrous rhythm, like a heart the size of a room. A voice crackled over a cum in my ear. "Kale, do not open it. Do you hear me? Do not open it." My chest tightened. I reached for the lock anyway, not because I was reckless. Because I was determined. Because someone was screaming inside that room. A human scream. Then another memory slammed into me. A woman's face, pale and glowing. Eyes like ice and fire. Siralith, younger. Not crowned, not calm, crying. "Kale," she begged. "If you open it, they will use you. They will use your mind like a key." I staggered. Back in the vision corridor, my hand hovered over the seal. Alarms blared. The pounding behind the door grew more violent. I shouted, "Who are you?" And Siralith's younger self answered through tears. "I am the air they want to break, and you are the human they fear." The corridor shook. The door seal cracked. A line of blue light formed down the center. The pounding stopped for one terrible second. Then something whispered through the crack, not a voice, a thought. A cold thought that slid into my skull like a blade. "Kale, open." I screamed, "No," and the memory shattered. I snapped back into the white hall, gasping like I had been underwater. My knees buckled. I caught myself on the polished floor. Palms flat, breathing hard. My entire body shook, not from weakness, from the shock of remembering something my life had never contained. Siralith was on her knees across from me, her hand lowered, the symbols gone. Her face was pale, even paler than before. Her eyes locked on mine like she was afraid to blink. "Now you know," she whispered. I stared at her, mouth open. No words coming. Then finally, brokenly, "That was real." Siralith nodded. "Yes," she said. I tried to stand, my legs trembling, my mind raced. A corridor, alarms, a sealed door, a voice calling me Kale, a monstrous presence behind it, and Siralith, crying, begging me not to open it. I looked at her, my voice shaking with anger and fear. "What did I do?" Siralith's lips pressed together. "You saved my life," she said, "and you condemned yourself." I swallowed, condemned myself. Siralith's voice was a knife wrapped in velvet. "They captured you after you stopped the breach," she said. "They could not kill you because your mind held the pattern. So they erased you. They buried you inside a new identity, and they threw you back to a quiet world. They thought you would never remember." My head spun. "Who are they?" I demanded. Siralith's eyes flicked to the arches, as if the walls might be listening. "The covenant of silence," she said. "My own council, my own court, the ones who fear anything they cannot control." I clenched my jaw. "And you?" I asked. "What are you going to do to me?" Siralith flinched like I had slapped her. Then she stood slowly, not towering over me, but standing with the weight of a throne. "I am going to protect you," she said, "because they will come for you. And because I owe you a debt older than my crown." I stared at her. "Why should I trust you?" Siralith's eyes softened and her voice lowered. "Because I made a mistake," she said. "I touched your mind and spoke your real name, and now the seal inside you is breaking. If I do not help you, you will drown in your own forgotten life." My hands clenched. I did not want another life. I barely handled the one I had. I backed away, shaking my head. "I want to go home," I said. "I want the jungle. I want my old name. I want my old problems. Not prophecy, not courts, not mind-reading queens." Siralith's face tightened. pain flickering through her calm. "I understand," she said. "But there is something you must know," I glared. "What?" Saralith took a step closer, her voice intense but controlled. When I said Kale out loud, she said, "Something," answered. My blood ran cold. "Answered." Saralith nodded. "Not you," she said. "Something that has been waiting inside the sealed part of your mind. Something that knows you are awake now." I swallowed hard, and before I could speak, the soft lights in the bowls along the floor flickered, just once. But in that flicker, the silence changed. The air felt wrong, like a pressure wave passed through it, invisible. Saralith turned her head sharply toward one of the arched openings. Her eyes widened, and I saw fear, real fear. For the first time they heard it. She whispered, "They heard your name." A low vibration rolled through the floor. Not an explosion, not an alarm. A controlled approach, footsteps, many, coming from beyond the arches. Saralith moved fast, stepping in front of me, raising her hand. Blue symbols snapped into existence again, brighter than before, circling like shields. Her voice dropped, urgent. "Do not speak," she said. "Do not think loudly. Do not let them taste your fear." Taste. My stomach twisted. "What are they?" I whispered. Saralith's eyes stayed on the approaching archway. "Not soldiers," she said. "Judges. And they do not need weapons to destroy you." The footsteps grew closer. Shadows stretched into the hall. Tall figures in pale armor, masks smooth and expressionless. Behind them, robed elders with glowing threads woven into their sleeves. Their eyes were not like Saralith's. Their eyes were dull, disciplined, empty of warmth. One of them stepped forward. He looked at Saralith, then at me, and his voice carried authority like a blade carried sharpness. "Your Highness," he said, "you have violated the quiet law." Saralith did not bow. She did not flinch. She stood like a wall between me and them. "I invoked my right," she said. "The human is under my protection." The elder tilted his head. "Protection?" He echoed. "Or possession?" Saralith's jaw tightened. "He is not a thing," she said. "He is a person." The elder's gaze slid to me. His voice softened with false kindness. "Human," he said. "Do you know what you are?" My throat tightened. I remembered. The corridor, the door. The cold thought that whispered open. I felt the sealed part of my mind like a bruise. I forced my voice steady. "I know I want to leave," I said. The elder's eyes did not change. "You cannot leave," he said. "Not while your name is awake." Saralith's symbols flared. Her voice sharpened enough, she said. "You will not take him." The elder raised one hand, and the air in the hall shifted. Not wind, pressure, like gravity leaned sideways. My vision blurred at the edges. My thoughts felt suddenly heavier, like something was reaching into my skull without touching my skin. Saralith gasped. She stumbled, then steadied herself, forcing her symbols to hold. The elder spoke calm. "You opened the seal," he said. "Now we must see what lives inside." Pain flashed behind my eyes, not physical pain, mental, a prying sensation. Like fingers in my memories, I gritted my teeth. Nitrogen monoxide, I thought. Get out. And something inside me moved. It was not rage, not madness. It was focus, a trained, old focus that snapped into place like armor locking on. The sealed door inside my mind trembled, and a voice that was mine, but older, colder, steadier, spoke from behind. "Ikale, stand." My spine straightened without permission. My breathing slowed. My fear did not vanish, but it became fuel. Saralith looked back at me, her eyes wide. "Kale," she whispered. The elder's hand tightened in the air. The pressure increased. Saralith's symbols shook. She was losing. I stepped forward, not because I wanted to, because something in me refused to let her fall again. I met the elder's dull eyes, and I spoke carefully. "You do not get to dig in my head," I said. The elder's voice was calm. "You do not get to decide," he replied. I felt the mental pressure spike, and the sealed door inside me cracked further. A flood of memory surged. Corridors, alarms, Saralith crying, standing between worlds, and beneath it, something darker, the thing behind the door. The thing that had whispered open, it stirred, sensing the conflict, hungry. Saralith's voice cut through it, sharp and pleading. "Hold on to one true thing," she said. "Hold on to your name, Kale." I clenched my fist so hard my nails cut my palms, and I made a decision that felt human. Not programmed, not prophetic. I would not be their weapon, and I would not be the monsters. Key, I inhaled, and instead of pushing outward, I pulled inward. I turned my attention to the sealed door, to the crack, to the dark whisper behind it. I spoke inside my own skull. "You are not getting out," the whisper answered, silky and cold. "You cannot stop me. You were made to open." I felt nausea twist through me. But I did not back down. I focused on Saralith's face. The way she stood in front of me, the way she refused to bow. I focused on the simple truth. I chose, and in that choice, something bright sparked, not alien, not monstrous, human, the pressure. From the elder faltered for half a breath. He blinked, surprised. Saralith saw it. She moved instantly, thrusting her hand forward. The blue symbol surged like a wave, slamming into the elder's invisible force. Light exploded between them, not loud, but blinding. The armored figures staggered. The elders recoiled, robes fluttering. The hall's soft lights flickered wildly. I felt the mental grip loosen. I took the chance. Stepping closer to Saralith, lowering my voice. "Tell me what to do," I whispered. Saralith's eyes flashed. "Run with me," she said. "And do not let your mind wander." We moved, not walking. Running across the polished floor, our reflections racing. Beneath us like ghosts trying to keep up. Behind us, the elder's voice snapped with command. "Stop them." The armored figures surged forward. But Saralith flicked her hand, and the floor between us and them shimmered. A barrier formed, blue symbols, locking into place like a gate. We reached an archway beyond it, a corridor of the same white stone, curving away. Saralith sprinted with the grace of someone trained to flee and fight at the same time. My lungs burned. My mind screamed questions, but I forced it quiet. I focused. On my steps, on her voice, on the single truth. I am not their key. We turned another corner. The palace seemed endless, clean, bright, deceptively peaceful. But I could feel the pursuit behind us like thunder held back by walls. Saralith slowed near a tall sealed panel that looked like solid stone. She pressed her palm to it, symbols flaring. The panel dissolved into a doorway. Inside was a chamber. Smaller and dimmer, a place that felt hidden, private. The air smelled faintly metallic, like old technology. Saralith pulled me in and the doorway sealed behind us. For a moment, we stood in darkness lit by a soft blue glow from symbols carved into the walls. My chest heaved. I leaned forward, hands on my knees, trying not to collapse. Saralith stepped close, her voice low and urgent. "Listen to me," she said. "They will not stop now. Your name is awake, your seal is cracking, and the thing inside you is listening." I looked up, sweat on my face, voice shaking. "What is it?" I asked. What was behind that door in the memory? Saralith's expression tightened with pain. "A thought eater," she said, "a mind predator trapped long ago. It cannot cross into our world unless a human mind opens the way. And your mind was the only one strong enough to seal it again." My blood ran cold. "So I sealed it," I whispered, "and they erased me." Saralith nodded. "They feared you would remember," she said, "and they feared you would choose differently the second time." I stared at her. "Choose differently." Saralith's eyes softened. "Kale chose to save me," she said, "and chose to seal the predator. But he also chose to carry the lock inside his own mind. A sacrifice, a prison." I swallowed hard. That meant the predator was not just behind a door. It was inside me. My hands shook. "I am not him," I whispered. "I cannot carry this." Saralith reached out, hesitated, then gently placed her hand near my shoulder without gripping. Her touch was warm, real, steady. "You are him, and you are also more than him," she said, "because you have something he did not have, a second chance." The words hit me, a second chance outside the chamber. A dull vibration rolled through the wall. They had found us. Saralath's gaze sharpened. We have little time, she said. The elders will try to rip the door fully open. If they succeed, the predator will speak through you. It will use your voice, your face, your life. My stomach twisted. What do we do? I asked. Saralath's voice steadied. We do what they do not expect, she said. We do not fight the predator with force. We starve it. We deny it fear. We deny it shame. We deny it the chaos. It feeds on. The wall vibrated again, stronger. A faint crack of energy, like cymbals being forced. I looked at Saralath, panic rising. How Saralath's eyes locked on mine. By choosing, she said. By choosing who you are. Out loud, inside, completely. I swallowed. My mouth felt dry. My mind felt like a battlefield. The wall shimmered. A thin line of light appeared along the sealed doorway. They were breaking in. Saralath stepped closer, her voice intense. Say your name, she said. Not the one they gave you. The one that is true, Kale. My chest finalized my breath. I felt the predator stir behind the sealed door inside my skull. Excited by the pressure, I closed my eyes. I saw the corridor again. The crack in the door, the whisper open. I felt it leaning toward me, and then I saw something else. Not a corridor, a jungle, my own life, mud, rain, loneliness, ordinary pain. Ethan. Two lives in one mind. I opened my eyes and I spoke, not in anger, not in fear, but in certainty. My name is Kale, I said, and my name is Ethan. And I choose to be the man who will not open the door. The words hit the air like a bell. Inside my skull, the predator recoiled, not because it feared my power, but because certainty is poison to something that survives on doubt. The wall behind us cracked with a burst of light. The doorway began to dissolve. Saralath raised her hand. Blue symbols flaring. Hold, she whispered. Hold on. The elders forced their way in. White light flooded the chamber. Armored figures filled the doorway. And the lead elder stepped through, eyes fixed on me. He smiled. Just slightly now, he said. We will see what you truly are. The mental pressure slammed into me again, harder than before. I staggered. Saralath cried out, her symbols shaking. Predator inside me surged toward the crack in my seal, whispering, coaxing, let me out, let me save you. I felt it offer me relief, a shortcut, a way to escape pain by becoming something else. My knees bent, my vision dimmed, and then, through the chaos, I heard Saralath's voice, trembling but fierce. Kale, she said, you once saved me because you believed my life mattered. Believe your life matters too. Those words hit deeper than any force, because that was the truth I had never learned as Ethan. That my life mattered. I inhaled. I reached inward, not toward the predator, but toward the sealed door. And instead of opening it, I reinforced it, not with fear, with choice. I pictured the door not as a prison, but as a promise I made to the universe. Not today. The mental pressure shrieked against my resolve. The elder's eyes widened. He pushed harder, veins tightening at his temple, and then something unexpected happened. The symbols on the walls, carved in soft blue, brightened. They responded to my certainty, to my choice, as if the palace itself had been waiting for a human mind to speak a true vow. Saralath saw it. Her eyes widened. She whispered, the sanctuary. The blue light intensified, and the symbols around us formed a sphere. Not a weapon, not a shield, a seal. I felt my mind connect to it. Not like mind reading, like resonance, like a lock finding its key, and I understood suddenly why the predator had wanted a human, because humans could choose, and choice was power. I looked the elder in the eye, and I spoke with a voice that surprised even me, steady, loud where it mattered. Enough, I said. The sphere of symbols snapped tight. The mental pressure vanished instantly. Like a hand pulled away, the elder stumbled back, shocked. Saralath gasped, then lifted her hand, adding her will to mine. Her voice rang. By throne and by truth, she declared, this human is under royal seal. Any who touches mine will answer to me. The armored figures froze. The elders hesitated. Because the symbols in the air were not just hers now, they were ours. The lead elder stared at me with something close to fear. Human, he said, you do not understand what you carry. I met his gaze, my voice low, controlled. I understand enough. I said, I carry a door, and I am not opening it for you. The elder's smile vanished. He turned sharply, robes snapping. Withdraw, he commanded. The armored figures pulled back. Reluctant, the elders retreated, their dull eyes cold. But as they left, the lead elder looked over his shoulder at Saralith, then at me, and his voice was a whisper that still carried threat. This is not finished, he said. Your name is awake now, and the universe will come looking for what it remembers. They disappeared into the white corridor. The doorway sealed again. The chamber fell quiet. I exhaled shakily, my legs trembled. Then I looked at her, voice raw. You knew this would happen, I said. The moment you said my name, Saralith's eyes glistened. Yes, she whispered, and I did it anyway. I stared, confused, angry, exhausted. Why? Saralith stepped closer, her voice breaking just a little. Because I have been alone on this throne for too long, she said. Because every counselor speaks of control and fear. Because I was starting to believe kindness was weakness. And then I felt your mind, loud, human, frightened, stubborn. And I remembered a man who once stood in front of darkness and refused to kneel. She swallowed, and I wanted him back, she admitted. Even if it was selfish, even if it was dangerous. My throat tightened. I looked away, breathing hard. A queen admitting selfishness. A queen admitting loneliness. I turned back to her, voice quieter. So what now? I asked. You cannot hide me forever. Saralith nodded. No, she said, and I will not erase you again. We will do something else. She stepped back and lifted her hand toward the wall. The symbols rearranged, forming a projection of a star map. Lines, nodes, glowing paths. There's a place beyond my court, she said. A vault city built to contain what should never be touched. That is where the Predator's original prison lies. If we can bring you there, we can transfer the lock out of your mind. We can seal it properly, permanently. I stared at the map, my pulse quickening. And if we fail? I asked. Saralith's eyes met mine, calm and terrifying. If we fail, she said, then the Predator will use your awakened name to break free. And it will not stop at my world. It will hunt minds across worlds. Starting with the ones who tried to control you. I swallowed. My fear returned. But now it had a shape, a mission. I looked at Saralith, and something inside me, Ethan, Kale, both hardened into resolve. Then we do not fail, I said. Saralith's lips parted. A faint, stunned smile flickered. Not triumph, relief. Good, she said. Because the moment I spoke your true name, I did not just wake your memory. I woke the palace. I woke the court. And I woke something else. I frowned. What else? Saralith's eyes lifted toward the ceiling, as if she could see through the stone. The humans who erased you, she said, they are not all gone. Some of them are out there in the stars, still watching, still hiding. And the moment your name resurfaced, their old alarms would have started screaming. My stomach dropped. So now my own species might come, I whispered, to take me. Saralith nodded. To take you. To silence you. Or to use you, she said. And if they arrive before we reach the vault city, this palace will become a battlefield. I stared at her. A queen, a court of mind judges, a predator in my skull, and now humans in the stars who might have stolen my life once already. I let out a shaky breath that almost became a laugh. Then I looked at Saralith and spoke the only honest thing left. You spoke my real name, I said, and you woke my nightmare. Saralith's face softened. Yes, she whispered. I stepped closer, voice low and fierce. Then you are going to help me finish it, I said. And I am going to help you burn your court's fear to the ground, not with cruelty, with truth. Saralith held my gaze, and in that moment, the silence in the white hall outside no longer felt engineered. It felt like the pause before a storm. She lifted her hand, the blue symbols gathering like stars. Then she said, with quiet power, Kale, Ethan, welcome back. Now we run toward the vault. And we do not look back, somewhere deep inside my skull. The predator whispered again, angry now, hungry. But the whisper felt smaller than before, because my choice was louder, and my real name, spoken once, had become a promise.